Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, senior citizen here, greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And it is indeed a brand new day. And I hear squishy sounds from outside, like cars driving on the roads. And the forecast is for rain. I haven't been outside yet. I'll get there. But it's looking to be another nasty day. Last night I went walking over to Walmart, took my little travel umbrella. Clear sky. Heavy rain on the last, 1/5 of the walk. I got pretty wet. Thumbs up for that. Driving wind. Oh, and it was a powerful, bitter cold wind. Yeah, that was fun. So, thumbs up for that. Hopefully you've had fun in your life as well. That would be a good thing. I do have a couple things written up there. And one thing I wanted to talk about, because it is still loud in here. There's a device up on each wall of each cottage, well, each apartment in each cottage. It pumps air either out or in. It does stuff based on its own programming, and it's got a little motor, and it's got a little filter in it that I'm going to have to clean up periodically. I haven't done that yet. But it's loud. And then my computer, it's got 5 fans. Even when the chip is cool, it's kind of loud. Then I got my box fan over here. I keep this one on, I turn that one off. It's loud in here. To me, anyway. But the things that I've written down, this is a big one. Because it seems like an kind of an interesting premise. It's stupid, but I'm willing to kind of roll with it. But they so much just irritates me about the premise that I don't think I would have fun watching the movie. And it's the kind of movie that both, like I said, makes me not like and also like. Because it's not even a slasher flick, but it is a pile up as many human corpses as you can by the end of the movie kind of movie. Can't remember what it's called, but it's like overpopulation. And they're dealing with overpopulation by, in this city, at random, these professional killers will be in a subway train and they will just murder everyone in the train. And then, not even just the subway car. Well, it might even be the train for all I know. I haven't seen it. But it's at least one car that they take, like their chainsaws and all this too, and they just murder everybody in there, leaving just blood and carnage and all that. Now, I'm for that. I mean, treating the human body as just the media with which you paint the canvas, which is like the scenery and landscape, that's thumbs up. Use the body as paint, and use your chainsaw as the paintbrush, and use the landscape as the canvas, and paint, paint, paint. I'm all for that. But that's stupid. Really, really stupid. Number one, nobody would be riding the subways anymore. Nobody's just going to go, oh, well, I got to go to work, and people are being murdered every day in subway trains, but it's only $1.70 for my ticket, so I'm going to take the risk. I think a lot more people would be walking, especially since it's not just like once a month. It's at least once daily. The subway trains would be largely empty because of this. So you'd have to come up with another method. But it wouldn't be long before the lights went out. Because if you're just indiscriminately taking people out, kind of like they're doing with the United States government right now, you're breaking stuff. You might wipe out somebody who, if they're gone, well, the power plant isn't going to function properly anymore, so all the lights in the city go off. And nobody knows how to turn them back on. There is a helicopter now going Sometimes over to the helipad for the hospital. Sometimes we have a small airport and we have small craft and helicopters all the time. So, yay. But yeah, there's the murder part. I forgot the exact point that I was talking about because of the helicopter on that, but it just, oh yeah, the lights would go off. You can't have any society run if you just randomly take out the people that are making it run. I mean, again, I understand, but you're not going to be taking on enough people unless you're taking out several trains a day. And even at that, once again, it's not going to be long before you're taking out people who are keeping the city running. And the people who are making decisions like, oh, we should slaughter people, they're going to end up starving because nobody comes and puts food on the shelves because the people that know how to do it all got killed. This is dumb. Interesting premise, but ultimately dumb. For me. Now, the logic might work for someone else. For me, with the glasses that I wear, it makes sense for what I'm saying. But you gotta remember, the glasses that I'm wearing, that I'm looking at this mirror through, part of the equation that makes it all make sense is through the lens of the glasses themselves. And what I see with the glasses on, sure, it makes sense, but the equation's all there. Somebody else is not looking through my glasses. They're not going to have the parts of the equation that the glasses give you. So they're going to see it differently. I don't know if somebody else is going to say, oh yeah, oh that's awesome. I don't know if you can just go dream logic. Because, and here's the thing, under most circumstances, if somebody else came up to me and was irritated in this fashion, I would say movies do operate on dream logic. They don't always make sense. You're going to have a sticking point like the city would fall apart. It wouldn't work. Everything would break. The city would just grind to a halt. But it's a movie and they operate on dream logic. They have to. They wouldn't make sense otherwise. Books that you read, fictional books, not fictional books, actual books about, fiction. When you read fiction, it's the same thing. So, on the one hand, I'm pissed off about the movie. On the other hand, I think they should have amped up the body count. And I mean the old-fashioned body count. Human corpses stacked, usually in a pile. And that's you count the bodies. Not the stupid current, oh, it's your partners, in a derogatory fashion way. Ugh. A proper victim count. I mean, if you're going to do something about population control, you need to take out hundreds of people every single day. You don't just take out one or two trains. You've got to have trained psychopaths with chainsaws going through the streets and taking people out, leaving just a trail of shredded meat behind them. Yes, the toll of suffering and death would be awesome. Again, fictionally, I think, human death and suffering is awesome. I think every movie should end with every single person in the world being devoured by plants, like at the movie at the end of the director's cut, which I guess is now the main version of it, of Little Shop of Horrors, where the plant breaks out and eats everyone in the world. Every movie should end that way, where every human being in the world is devoured, just swallowed whole by something, devoured and then digested alive. Comedies, dramas, thrillers, it all ends with the planet absolutely free of human life. Thumbs up for that. I have a fear. It's something that's perfectly natural that happens, but I'm having a fear where my mood last night was good until I thought of this. I have had people in the comments telling me that the way I'm playing Disco Elysium is different from a lot of the way that a lot of people play. And that the game wasn't really designed for the kind of player that I am right now. Even though I'm trying to go a little bit more off the rails, I'm largely playing it as me. And since, and again, this is natural, the views have gone like this, it makes me wonder if, oh, maybe my commitment to not going off the rails is one of those reasons that everything is just plummeting. Again, the first one on anybody's videos is going to be the highest, and then it's going to go down to a much lower number. And I know that when I'm going to even channels that I like, if I just open up their videos and I see a series that's like at number 10, I never watch it unless I can watch the first 10. I will never look at that series. So I can imagine that there are a lot of people like me that take a look at that and go, oh, number 8. Well, unless I watch 1 through 7, I'm not going to watch number 8. So, again, perfectly natural. But I'm a human being, as much as I try to pretend not. I am a human being, and even though I started up the channel, again, for new people, and to remind older people, I started up the channel to save my life after my wife died. Since I was married for 12 years, but 2 years into it, my wife had to have heart surgery and spent the next 10 years slowly dying in front of my eyes until she died in our living room in a hospital bed on hospice. And I had to call the funeral home and tell them to please come pick up my wife's corpse. So, I can't remember where I was going with this. It has taken a lot of work. Oh yes, making videos. I started up my channel because I needed something to get out of my head. And nothing was working. And the survival rate for especially men in my situation is around 30%. And I was terrified of not living through it. And I reached out and I did the only thing that I could think of to concentrate on doing something that I could do, which was make videos. Get myself out of my head. A commitment to doing something that wasn't just for me, even though it was for me, my channel, but it was for other people to see. And this getting out of my head kept me alive. Plus, in about 2017 or so, I started therapy with a therapist in Olympia. But eventually, because of my vehicle and a lot of other factors, it was easier to just do it online. And so since then, we have just, every week, we both fire up our computer stuff with the, I think it's Google Meet, and then we have our sessions online. And it's worked out. That helped keep me alive. It's, as I've told him, with his help, I have rebuilt the foundation of my psyche, and he is the scaffolding that I'm used to rebuild the house of my psyche. If he was to take his scaffolding away now, my house isn't strong enough. It would collapse. So I still need his help. But without his help, I wouldn't have anything that I have now. But therapy is a good thing, because after my wife died, my psyche was crushed. I was a badly broken man. I am still a badly broken man. But I am so much better than I was. Therapy helps. If you ever think about it, if you can afford it, especially here in the United States right now, it is a good plan. And that, of course, is another one of my issues. I have because of my chemical imbalance, I have chemically induced depression every 2 weeks I'm depressed for 2 weeks, and then I come up to normal, which if this is baseline normal, I'm about here with mine. So even my normal is not good, and then I dip into seriously not good. Now meds help, which is good. Where the heck was I going with? I am having a lot of ADD problems today, and my sincere apologies. Ugh. It's joyous. I don't even have the ringing in my ears where I forget everything, blank slate, and then the ringing goes away and I start remembering again. I also have those little points where what I'm talking about or thinking about is just grabbed and whoop, pulled out. It's not a major calamity. It's just what I was talking about is gone. And that just happened. So yay. I'll talk about this instead. I had to trim my hair this morning because I went a walking last night with the wind that I mentioned. My hair got a little damp, and with the wind, oh my God, this up here was just a nightmare. It looked horrific. And I mean different waves going like this. And the thing about my hair, I still have, as much as it's going up and receding, I still have a hairline I see people that are 20, 25, and 30 years old online that have hairlines this high now. Both men and women. So the stress of modern life is doing what just age has done to me. But even at that, I have still got a fair amount of hair up here. You can see my scalp through my hair back here. I'm not bald by any means, but I especially have a headphone band that runs across here where the hair went down because the headphone thing that went across. But all my life I have had just these impressive natural finger waves in my hair where it just goes like this naturally. And the thing about it is I have not had hair that is like most people's where you have to coax it into finger waves, where you have to fight with it because all the hairs just do what hairs naturally do. They twist and they flex in their own patterns. Every hair on this part of my head has the same pattern. When I have woken up my entire life, I can either just from waking up or after taking a shower, just brush my hair. I'm done with it. Perfect salon style finger waves. Here, sides, back. Problem is on the sides, the waves started immediately. So I had like rising waves of hair that would come out. So I still have to keep this short because it wants to wing outward and then up. So I just wanted to talk about how it's so sad now that my hair has no volume to it because so much of it has gone away. I've lost so much hair up here. And of course, I've mentioned it's just, I don't think longer hair, especially on me, looks good when it's thin. Because thin hair with no body to it, especially, the longer it gets, the more it just pulls down to your scalp as it dangles. So you've got smushed hair on top, really stressing the fact that there ain't much up there anymore. And then of course by the time it comes out the side, because it's so thin as it's dangling down, it tends to, with a little bit of hair oil, cling to each other, and then you've got lank strands of thin hair. And to me, that looks horrible. Which, that's just my neurodiversity. Again, I've mentioned this, where like the person, I think someone even confirmed this, where like the lead singer for the group The Scorpions, decades back, was bald, or is still bald, up on top with just a ring of hair, but it's long, at least shoulder length. I would never do that. I don't like the way it looks. But obviously he looks at himself in the mirror and just goes, I am rocking this. So yeah, when I say I don't like something, the only thing that means is I don't like something. That's just my opinion. And everybody has opinions, and my opinion really should not affect your opinion in that you start to think like me. You should use my opinion as something to evaluate, decide if there's any parts of it you like, and if there aren't, you throw it out. I am nobody. Everybody that you look at on the internet is nobody. Each influencer that wants all that power, and is an absolute jerko in line and in public, they're just nobody with a camera. They're not any better or different than anyone else. They're just one of 8.5 billion blobs of protoplasm. They're just another bone mech, powered and armored by meat, with software operating the hardware in the cockpit. They ain't special. I ain't special. And of course, by inference, you're not special either. This is something important to remember, especially when you're younger and you feel invulnerable. You're not special. You can and will die if you're hit by a car. And if you're not careful, you will be hit by a car. You're not special. If you have a pain that's unusual and hurts a lot, you ain't special. Unless you get that checked out, you might die because you ain't special. And mammals die all the time. And in fact, there's a whole range of life on Earth. All these creatures that are just theirs. If you make it through childhood, which is short but hard, you're guaranteed to have a pretty much long life. Or you make it through childhood, long childhood, not much danger, but once you reach adulthood, you're going to have a long life. Everything in the middle is qualified as dies randomly. So yay on that. Don't die randomly. But you could. After all, even though human beings are incredibly tough, people have fallen out of airplanes. I have watched home videos of two people who went parachuting, and the one guy recording it as his chute didn't open and he fell and hit the ground. And the other, his friend, recording him falling and hitting the ground. He's okay now. And yet there's other people, fall off a curb, die. Take 2 or 3 aspirin, die. Thumbs up. I have talked for a long time, and I still keep forgetting to break up this thing that I'm going to start. Call for action time. If you could like, comment, share, subscribe, that would be very, very cool. Definitely a thumbs up. And if you're a patron, thumbs up and thank you. You are beautiful and awesome. You help me survive each and every month. If you have left me a comment, you too are beautiful and awesome in your own way, and it is greatly, greatly appreciated. Thumbs up and thank you. I read as many comments as I can. I thumbs up and heart as many as I can, and I answer as many as I can. As I can with my nerve compression issues, which isn't as many as I would like, but at least it's some. If you have watched this far, and I'd be surprised if you have, thank you if you have, if you could write Nathalis into the comments to let both me and the YouTube algorithm know that people actually watch these videos, that would be awesome. Just Nathalis. If you wanted to write the cur part in front of it, you could. You don't have to. But just Nathalis. It's a good game. Alex T, who's like the sole person that does Black Oath, is like incredible. Thumbs up. Anyway, though, I'm going to edit, render, upload. I need to talk to the people in there to let them know, community center, the case managers and all that I am alive and I'm not lying in bed suffering from a heart attack or a stroke. Definitely a thumbs up. hopefully you can get done the things that you would like to get done. That too would be cool. I keep not getting much done, so I need to do more. Hopefully you can do what you would like to get done. Definitely a thumbs up. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is indeed a very, very good thing. Because that means I'm not dead. That's what I was talking about. My channel and my late wife. Yeah. I hate having ADHD. It really sucks to not be able to remember stuff as I'm talking about it. To have it just pulled out of my head as I'm speaking. Part of it, I'm sure, is again because of my like at least 2 decades of alcohol abuse. I am quite sure that I damaged my brain with alcohol. But the other part is just ADHD. Which, sure, would have helped me out back in the hunter-gathering days. But we're not hunter-gatherers now. And I don't go out and hunt or gather. So it certainly don't help. Anyway, I hope your day is awesome as possible.